Good morning, everybody. My name is Florin Amțanu. I will present today the impact of corporate social responsibility on smart cities. Together with Mirela Amțanu, I am a senior lecturer at Polytechnic University in Bucharest, and my colleague Mirela Amțanu is PhD student at University of Economic Studies in Bucharest, of course, and the third author is Jorn Sligenzieben from Ingolstadt, the Faculty of Applied Science. The topics of this presentation are introduction, a description of the context, because it's important to define the context of new concepts as smart city and CSR. Also, we'll define the smart city, the components of the smart city. We'll define the CSR, let's say the approach of CSR in terms of European strategies in the context of European Union. CSR and smart city. We'll talk a little bit about the model, because the relation between CSR and smart city is a very complex relation, and we need a model to understand exactly what is this relation and what are the result of the connection between CSR and smart city. We'll talk a little bit about impact and key performance indicators. We have a, let's say, slide with some discussions, and of course we'll conclude the presentation. Introduction. The human society is a very complex system with a complex structure. Of course, we can build in our mind very simple model or very simple architectural structure of society to understand the society, but in fact, in reality, the system is very complex. And also, the human society is a complex network of relationships between its components. Urban areas are facing now a new challenge, and a new concept was rising to support a new paradigm in urban life and society. This concept is smart city. It's not a normal city. It's a new approach of the city. CSR, corporate social responsibility, is a feedback of the society to the negative effect of human actions on the nature and the earth. CSR could affect a new urban paradigm of smart city, and a complex model is needed in society, including cities as small societal group. Is smart mobility. That means smart transport in urban area. In fact, mobility means, let's say, the transport system, and also the transport of freight of goods and persons. We are talking here about smart mobility of goods and persons or citizens in urban area. The third component is smart governance. The fourth, smart living. We are talking here about the quality of life. The fifth, it's about smart people. That means a better implication of citizens in urban area, let's say in the process of solving the urban problems. And also the sixth component is a smart environment, to use in a better manner the resources. This slide contains a different definition of corporate social responsibility, CSR. CSR refers to companies taking responsibility for their impact on society. As evidence suggests, CSR is increasingly important to the competitiveness of enterprises. It can bring benefits in terms of risk management, cost savings, access to capital, customer relationships, human resource management, and innovation capacity. This is the definition of European Commission. We can see here, let's say, the importance of CSR and the possible connection with the component of a smart city. CSR is defined by the European Commission as the responsibility of enterprises for their impacts on society. Another important definition is done by UNIDO, United Nations Agency. Corporate social responsibility is a management concept whereby companies integrate social and environmental concerns in their business operations and interactions with their stakeholders. Another important aspect is to identify and define the components of corporate social responsibility. In, let's say, at this moment, we have like 4 components. Legal components related to CSR, economic components, ethical components, and of course, philanthropic components. Another important aspect is to analyze best practices in CSR actions and measures as a guideline. And of course, we have to analyze the strategy of European Union in terms of CSR. This slide presents CSR measures. We put here 6 examples. We can, let's say, distribute our effort in at least 6 directions. The first example is related to education. We are talking here about concrete, a real case to involve some companies in education. It's one example with marketing faculty in the University of Economic Studies in Bucharest. The second example is to involve people to be volunteers for hospitals. This is, let's say, the example of hospice, which is a foundation. Another example is a foundation. It's a special Romanian foundation related to single mothers. The fourth example is related to energy. We are talking here about smart offices. The idea is that the company will invest more in reduction of energy consumption. The fifth example is related to citizenship. I'm talking here about this well-known volunteers event. The name is Citizen Day. That means the implication of employees as volunteers for different problems of the society. And of course the sixth is related to research. Let's say to have the values of CSR in your mind when you design and build products. The relation between CSR and Smart City. The main components of Smart City are smart economy, smart governance, smart people, smart mobility, smart living, and smart environment. This is, let's say, our idea is to connect CSR with all these 6 components of a smart city. The model, it's a very interesting idea. In fact, the reality is simplified by human brain using models. Modeling of objects, states, processes, and phenomena is a day-by-day activity of every citizen. When the system is complex or the complexity is over a threshold, we need advanced models and we need to use instruments, especially software, for this. The authors proposed UML, Unified Modeling Language, as a tool to model the relations between Smart City, the city in general, and CSR. Impact and KPIs. The model generated by authors is used to identify and measure the impact of CSR on different components of a smart city. The main categories of KPIs are CSR in connection with smart economy, for example, number of competitive products based on new ecological materials. CSR in connection with smart governance, example, number of internal decisions based on local administration strategies. CSR in connection with smart people, example, integration of roles, employee and citizen. CSR and smart living, CSR and smart mobility, example, number of bikes. CSR and smart environment, reusing of metals, water, in terms of quantity. There is a direct connection between CSR and Smart City. CSR is not an island, it's connected with other societal components. Smart City as part of Smart Region and Smart Country Thus we have to connect the city with the region, and the region with the country, and the country with the European Union in our case. Integration of strategies. The citizen is a multiplayer. It's, let's say, an engineer, but it's also a mother or father, part of the society. It's a multiplayer. A model could support the understanding of complexity, but it's not a solution. It's a tool for this. Conclusions. I have to conclude our presentation. Urban area needs to be reorganized. The relation in urban system could be better defined and established. CSR could be a real support for a new smart city approach. CSR is not only a concept, it is a behavior of citizens. City is also an important factor for CSR. UML is a tool for modeling, and it could be used in defining the relations between CSR and smart city. Question: for any detailed information, please contact us using the email address from the next slide. Please give us a feedback to improve our research. Every smart thing is a result of thinking and a smart approach. Thank you for your attention.